Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome to Dyson Sphere Program, where we have a slight issue, and that is our power system. It's not having a good day right now. Actually, going through the buffer, you can see that we're dropping graphite out of the buffer, and a bunch of our generators are not on, which not great. Overall, not the best. So, what we're going to need to do is work on a new power source, and that is going to be fusion, with Deuterium as the main source of power. So for that, we are going to need this Deuterium fuel rod, which we can make these. Everything's automated for that. We just need to actually make the damn thing. But the more important part is fusion power station. You need processors, which we're going to have to handcraft, which sucks. Carbon nanotubes, which we can't handcraft. We're actually going to have to start producing them en masse. And the other two, which is fine. So what we're going to do is we'll just grab the stuff to make a bunch in our pocket, because we're kind of desperate right now, of processors. And do we have circuit boards, so I guess we just need copper. Copper farm. Okay. We'll make the microcrystalline components in a batch of 100. And then there we go. We'll build another batch of 100. Okay, well, while they're cooking, we'll work on making the carbon nanotubes. Now, they need two things. Graphene, which we have up here, and titanium, which we have here. So we're actually going to put the production for this here. I'm not even using the full amount of coal here. Whatever. We're actually going to bring this a little further in. There we go. Oh, my drones. Give me more space. Yeah, I've got plenty of space in the inventory. Okay, so the idea is we are going to need to get a belt per second of these. 12 chemical plants, which is fine. This is a Mark 1 belt per second. Just 6 per second. So we're gonna flatten this area. I want to go from here. So, to make carbon nanotubes, because of our power crisis. How bad is our power crisis right now? Oh, we're actually satisfied. Our generation capacity just shot up by 60. So, we had enough power kick in that we actually managed to start mining enough to make more graphite, I guess. Okay. Either way, that proves that we need to have a backup system. And maybe it's accumulators, but more precisely, accumulators will only last so long. It's got to be proper generation. And it's time for the Deuterium. So, we will need 3 graphene, 1 titanium, and that'll get us our output. All right. Well, I guess, you know what? Let's upgrade you to blue. Because then you can feed every demand. And we only need half a Mark 1 belt of titanium. So, we should just ignore this copper for now. Also need graphene, and graphene is going to need to be 0.8 of a green belt. I think 0.75 for green belt. I think this doesn't round properly, because we should see it's 3:2. Yes, 3:2 ratio. So a full belt of this will need 1.5 normal belts, which is going to be a green belt. Graphene. Probably best just splitting you. And you know what? I'm also just going to upgrade that to blue, because if it's a pull-out belt, we should do that. You know what? We will use everyone's favorite splitter, several levels. And that way, you can come out like that. And you can go in like that. Although, admittedly, you'll need a better way of feeding this belt. So, there we go. Right. Now, we need to actually pull the graphene down with a green belt. And then send it over. So, what I'd like to do... Can't run it like that. Okay. You know what? Let's make it go straight for a little while. That way, if we need to put a splitter in on that, we'll have room in future. We'll go straight to... where's the best place to feed this back? Probably, honestly, all the way down here. So, if we're going to leave a one belt gap, we're going to feed in titanium here. This will be the belt for graphene. We're gonna want to rise this belt. In fact, let's rise it further, because we want to also pull out from this belt as well. Oop. Oop. One less. There we go. And... we not get that? Okay. You've proved you're a tricksy one. There we go. Try that again. And then we need to bring the graphene in. So, we'll actually just go this way. Just to leave a little bit of room around... You know what? Why are we even leaving room around that copper? That's not even usable. Whatever. That space will do nothing for the copper. That's our graphene belt. Then we're going to want to put in a... one of these. Which way around do they go? We've got them going with like the bulbous end at the back. And then out the other side is a normal belt of carbon nanotubes. Okay. So let's set this up. This is going to be 12 long, so it's actually going to be a pretty long line. These things aren't compact. Ooh, beeping sounds. And then you... I do wish there was just an easy way to reverse, because I'd probably build them out from an existing one and then reverse them when I wanted. It'd be easier, rather than having to try and click and then drag towards yourself. At least I find that. I don't know if that's just me. And then let the drones do the work. And then we just gotta do the chemical plant. Some of these amazing little special ingredients, like bamboo. It takes 2 bamboo to make 2 carbon nanotubes. Not it's bamboo vein. It's some sort of special mineral. I don't know. Anyway, I guess we'll do the more complex one. Yes, we would like to make that. We would also like to feed it in. What rate do we need to feed these in? 3 every 4 seconds. Okay. And 1 every 4 seconds. Well, basic inserters will probably do that. And then we get 2 every 4 seconds out. So again, basic. And then copy, paste. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we need 2 more. We might need to flatten that. There we go. Okay, and then 1, 2. Sorted. Oh, obviously we need to put power in them. There we go. And that should be carbon nanotubes. Sweet. I guess we could feed them into this tower and just make everything available through this tower. It would also be a good solution for what to do with graphene and everything as well. That way we could have this tower then provide stuff using the logistics. Cue this up. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that we just turn this into a logistics provider rather than trying to run belts everywhere. So sure, why don't we do that? We can also feed in graphene and titanium. So let's get that going. You're a blue belt currently. We are feeding in with a green belt though. We'll green belt you for the moment. We won't waste blue belt. Green belts, blue belts, whatever. We will go to here and 1 up and down. Then and then all we need to do is say you are graphene, nanotubes, titanium beams. Where's titanium beam? Hello, the titanium beam. There we go. Anything else we need to store up here? No, probably not. It's not that I can think of. And then we'll just limit the storage for now, just so we don't go like too crazy. And then we'll say local supply, remote supply. Yes. Okay, great. Oh, we haven't done that last bit. Okay. And then there we go. Right, and the last bit we need to worry about is this, which we take 1, 2, 3. Boop, boop. And then we'll make that the primary out so that we actually keep making the nanotubes. Okay. And then we just need to run this in as well. So we'll run you this way and then in. And then we'll have carbon nanotubes available. I actually want to kind of nick some of these, but we can just nick them from the tower. Right. If we would like to make these, we need carbon nanotubes times 8. So if we want to make 10 of these, that's 80. We could make 120. Make 15. We'll make 10 to begin with. Okay, so we would like 80 of them. How many do we need of the titanium beams? 12 times 10 is 120. I don't mind grabbing more, sure. And then processors, which we have, and super magnets, which we need 100 of. Okay. Make 10. Now, we're also going to need to make deuterium fuel rods, which is deuterium, again, supermagnetic rings, and titanium alloy. Well, lucky for us, I've got a plan. I want to use the logistics system because it's pretty cool. So that's all logistics up there. If we want to make these, we need the titanium beams, which are logistics. We need these magnets, which we can logistics, and we need deuterium, which we can also logistics. So we would need to feed out of these, which is fine by me. Thinking we like set this up here somewhere. There.
Logistics station. You have taken the first step to establish the interplanetary logistics transportation.
Yeah, we have.
Provided the place of logistics station of the raw material is set to supply, the logistic drones will transport cargo to elsewhere.
Those are standard belts, so we'll feed in with standard belts. That way they'll always be a little bit in this buffer, provided we're making them at a sufficient rate. Except it won't, because there's reasons. These actually share turbines, so they're actually only going to be produced at 50-50. So eventually these buffers will run out, but it'll mean the buffers have some for now. So let's run that in there. Can't really use this side. Actually, we can. There we go. Now we can actually, if we need to, pull out from these sides still, which is what I wanted to make sure we could do. Then provide power here. You are to provide you and you, and quite honestly, I'm tempted to send turbines over here as well. But that would be annoying for our turbines. That said, it would be easy to split this, put like a splitter in, take some extra, send that extra around. Kind of like child's play to do that. Either way, for now, we're going to limit you just because we don't want to go too crazy with the production to just 1,000. And you're on supply. Good. Okay. Liquids. So, funnily enough, you can supply liquids in the same way you do anything else. So, if we put in a station here, we would be able to basically take the liquids. Now, what I will do is I'm going to just break this. And then I will place the hydrogen we inevitably picked up. Okay. Because fun fact... Actually, fine. You know what? That hydrogen wins. I'm going to burn it. There. Fun fact... Don't worry, we're getting to that fact. And I promise you, it is fun. We can do this. Have all our three go in here. Say you are deuterium, hydrogen, and refined oil. Set you to supply. And then we can also just go, hey, so you want that, like, refined oil we were talking about? Well, come get it. Set the output here to refined oil, and then we can pull it out as well. So this will actually act as a huge storage hub. We'll also upgrade the belts in between these tanks. Like, eventually we won't even need these tanks because that will act as a giant storage hub. There we go. And then we can basically pull out from here by requesting it remotely. And yeah, that's filling up nicely. Can we upgrade one of you by... No, you can't. I kind of wish you could, just to mouse over and upgrade a local hub to an interstellar. Hopefully they add that feature. Okay, so we have our reactors in our pocket. We now have basically everything required for deuterium fuel just accessible. We're going to want to make more fractionators to deal with this. Oh, we also need to get the hydrogen out, don't we? There we go. Oh, you know what we could do? We can upgrade the belt through this system. And that will mean we're making even more deuterium because more will be going through the fractionators. It is a pain to actually click on these belts. And at some point we want to increase the number of fractionators hugely. Basically, this is going to hugely increase production of deuterium because these work on every unit put through. And throughput is limited by belt speed. So by timesing the belt speed by 2.5, that just is a huge increase in speed. In fact, it's ridiculous. Can I upgrade you? No? You know, I'm going to have words. It might be easier for me to actually just delete. Oh, hello. What did I do before for the other one? There we go. I have to, like, very base of the belt kind of area. There we go. Come on! Saw you at it. Luckily, I can just keep clicking because it's not like I'm actually going to upgrade a fractionator or anything. And there we go. Look at the deuterium now. In fact, we actually need to upgrade this deuterium line. That's quite amazing. That is such an increase in our deuterium production. That's fantastic. Now, of course, we have filled this up with deuterium. And we still have deuterium here. This is actually kind of nuts. Okay. Well, let's start using it. Wow, look at that line. Vroom. Oh, that's great. Should have done that earlier. Right. Where do I want to put our fusion power? Kind of thinking this is kind of like a nice empty area. So to produce deuterium fuel rods, we only want to produce them rarely, because if we actually have a look at them, you'll see that they provide 600 megajoules, and the fusion reactors are 9 megajoules. So each of them will last a very, very long time, like 20 minutes or something. Well, no, 20... Seconds. It's seconds, not minutes. What, like 666 seconds? 10 minutes? That seems way too long. Let's check. Right, 9 megawatts. So obviously, megawatt is megajoules per second. So 600 divided by 9. 600 divided by 6 is 100. Divided by 9 is 66. So 66. So yeah, a minute. A minute point. Yeah, I got the decimal point in the wrong place. Yeah, that's pretty good. And if we run a lot of these, well, we'll want, say we're running 10 of these, which is what we built. We'll want 10 a minute, which is 1 every 6 seconds. Let's make them 1 every second. That way we have spares. Also, we can use them ourselves. They are great for us. Fuel chain regeneration plus 300%. It's fantastic. In the meantime, we will just get rid of the crap we picked up. Okay. Also, are we having a power crisis? We are having a power crisis. Very well. Why is the power crisis? Is it because we are using more power? We're using a bit more power, yeah, and that's caused generator production to dive. Okay, well, we should be adding 90 megawatts to our production. So, let's go this way. Power. Okay. To do this, we will need to be flying in... I think it's everything's 1-to-1, right? No, it's 10 deuterium. Okay, how much deuterium do we need to fly in? A green belt, almost. Green belt, everything else is, you know, if we're producing 1 per second, we need 1 per second of it. So let's put down a hub. We need 6 factories, I think. We'll give the hub a little bit more space, because we need to use it for anything else. But we are going to request deuterium, beams, and magnets. Beam, 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 beam. I would expect beams to be here. It isn't. It's here. Deuterium. We will only want like 1,000. These we only want like 500. Probably less actually. It's 1 per thing. So let's just say 200. And we would like demand on all of these. And then we're going to give you drones. Now, the downside is we don't actually have any drones on us. We'll go pick them up later. Okay. Let's be really lazy with this. We're going to go 3 belts in a row, and we'll just have our gatherer factory thingy go 3 belts. Like, we can totally do that. Isn't going to be much of an issue with speed, because these are made every, what, 6 seconds, was it? Oh, yeah. Honestly, we'll just build right here. Okay. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. 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 Right. And then that's every 0.5 seconds, which is fine. That's every 0.75 seconds, which is also fine. Because this is every 6 seconds. Now, we need 10 every 6 seconds, so we're actually looking for a little bit of a better rate here. And in every 6 seconds, that will get us 9, so we actually do need to use the better inserter. Okay. And then on the other side, we're going to want to dump these out. And we're going to have a return belt that goes counter. And then make me deuteron fuel rods. I call them deuterium fuel rods because they're fuel rods made with deuterium. Kind of in the name. But sure, deuteron fuel rods. 2, 3. And then we'll give a gap for power. Can we get power in there? We might be able to. Yeah, we can. Sweet. No gap needed. Okay. Let's not even hook up to power yet. I want to see this all at once. And then I want the fusion generators just to go in a line this way. And I'm going to have them feed each other. Is that close enough? Or is that, like, too close? Too close. Okay. And because the burn time is so long on the fuel, they are able to feed each other. The only downside is that they will preferentially hold on to their max fuel, which is 5 for deuterium fuel rods, rather than feeding the next person. But again, not really an issue. I think we can use old-fashioned ones here, because again, fuel lasts a long time. Bring that in front. Okay, all we need to do is turn this on. So... Bam. Oh, obviously drones. Let's go get the drones. Hey there, drones. These are local drones, so we're going to grab 50, which is the max you can put in any one thing. Solar panels are doing well. We've still got a load of stuff left. You're doing your job. And then back over here. How would you like all the drones? They're eating up the fuel. I'm just going to tell you you can drag more from the grid just because you are going to create power by doing that. Now, you can see they've gone over here. They're going to get steel beam, well, the titanium beams. You're coming back with the super magnets, or whatever they're called. You're coming back with deuterium. And then, there we go. They're in the outputs. And then we should be seeing the beams. There we go. Beams coming back. I'm not even using the amount of drones that I put in there. And production has started. And there we go. The first Deuterium fuel rod is in. Now, obviously, you're going to keep 5, but once you keep 5, which should be any second, there we go. Another one online. And any second now, another one online. Ah, it's beautiful. There we go. Now happily working. We don't even need that amount of drones, so I'm actually going to leave you with 10 drones, because you seem to only really need 7, so I'm going to give you 3 more, just because drones are expensive, and while I would eventually max out all the drones, it would be wasteful to leave them right now, because each of these uses processors, and obviously we're still handcrafting the processors. I think we will raise the limits a little bit. There we go. Now all the drones are out. Oh, that's beautiful. Now, the one thing we do want to do is put in a bypass box, because we would like to also have some for ourselves. So we're just going to create a simple box. We'll put a hole in here. And then... there. There. Okay. Bypass box. Yes, that's fine. And, oh, we need to select your primary input output. Will only buffer a little bit because these fuel rods are quite expensive. We get... Nope, need one more. And then we can go down. Okay, and then... we go up to there. Go round. We go in. Okay. It's 1 per second, so honestly, the slowest inserters work fine. And then... Oop. Eventually, we should see this box start filling up. There we go. Although, just to get rid of the backlog, I will upgrade you. And now we shouldn't need graphite anymore for our own personal use. We can use some much more energy dense ones over here. 600 megajoules each compared to 6.3 with a fuel chamber generation of plus 60% compared to plus 300%. Yeah, these are going to be a bit helpful. In fact, I will probably grab them now. 1, 2, 3. You know what? Let's get 4. That way we can just switch permanently to using them. There we go. And, well, once we run out of graphite, I'm going to switch over and see what happens. Speaking of graphite, how are we doing here? It is still flickering down, so we are having issues with that. But there are grains of our graphite in there. And this is because, yeah, the miner output here, because we've been using the nodes, has fallen to 17.6. We're no longer getting the 24 that we expect. So we are going to be switching to fusion more and more as a power of the future. One thing we might want to do before we end, though, is make a few accumulators. Now, they're kind of expensive. They are 6 iron each, 6 EMs each, and 4 crystal silicate. Well, it's a good job we got crystal silicate and brought it over, and you know, it doesn't really have much use otherwise. So we'll grab some crystal silicate. We'll grab a couple of them. We'll grab some more iron. Although finding iron is going to get harder and harder. We should definitely feed these into a logistics station. That way we can just cool them down anywhere. And from there, we can make ourselves 25. I was really hoping for a bit more. Oh well. Well, we're out of crystal silicate, so whatever. Now, these will store energy and expend it when needed. Not massively useful, because obviously if we're in a power dip for longer than they will have charge, then it doesn't matter what they do. But they'll give us a little bit of a buffer. To be fair, this is an even better buffer to an extent. Like, we'll have spare deuterium fuel rods. These, we can just place them... You know what? Let's place them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll just do a second line. There we go. And then I think we've got 5 more we're making. Yeah. I guess we're never going to use these outputs, really. I guess unless we want to use beams and super magnets and deuterium here. No, we'll just cover these up for now. We can always just delete these later if we need to. And there we go. Notice that they're accumulating power, and that this has a purple area, which is basically this is the amount of energy being used for charge. Our fusion power is looking good, and our deuterium is looking kind of ridiculously good. How's our hydrogen? Still maxed here, because obviously we're using the hydrogen to turn into deuterium, so maybe more fractionators is needed. We'll see. For now, we've a power crisis has been averted. We do need to go back to finishing, or even starting making processes on our lava planet, because that'll certainly be a help. And especially because we're going to need them for any future techs. And we need the future techs fast, considering that we are basically about to lose all of our coal. And once this starts to die, not only is fusion power going to be our only source, but it's also going to be pretty expensive. So we'd like to have everything hunky-dory. Like, I think this setup can probably run at least another stack. The question is if we'll have enough to keep up with the deuterium demand. Deuterium's expensive, so that'll be something we're looking into. For now, like, subscribe. Feel free to comment and all that jazz. Check out the Discord. There'll be a link to Linktree in the comments. Not in the comments, in the description if you want to check that out. The Linktree will be the place to get all my links. I don't know why I just was like segue in my head there. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, continue. But until next time, I've been EnterElysium, and of course, stay shiny.